Tim, give us some insight. What happened in that locker room on Saturday?
Lamar Odom played only 4 minutes in the first quarter, didn't play the rest of the first half. And at halftime, Mark Cuban went into the locker room, which is not unusual, but confronted Lamar Odom. And the crux of the conversation was Mark Cuban asking Odom, are you in or out? Basically, are you committed to this team or not? Odom reacted angrily, and that's the breaking point as far as Odom's tenure in Dallas. His effort had been an issue all season long, obviously. His commitment had been an issue all season long. Lack of commitment, I should say, had been an issue all season long. And frankly, Cuban showed remarkable restraint, putting up with Odom as long as he had. It just reached the point where the Mavericks were fighting for their playoff lives here, and they couldn't afford to have somebody on their team, in their rotation, who's not committed to trying to win.
Tim, you mentioned the lack of effort and the lack of commitment, and the article that I was reading, that you were behind, talked about Odom being habitually late despite the fact that his condo was located right across the street from the arena. Why do you think that Odom came to Dallas and had these issues?
You know, obviously, Odom had some serious personal issues this summer. A cousin of his who was very close to was killed. He was a passenger in an SUV that was in an accident where a teenager ended up being killed. You know, a teenager pedestrian ended up being killed. I mean, there are certainly some legitimate reasons that Lamar Odom had trouble focusing on basketball. Also, he did not take departure from Los Angeles well at all, and he just never mentally committed to this team. You know, again, there are some legitimate personal reasons, but professionally, Lamar Odom did not do his part all season long. He made $8.9 million this season and didn't earn a penny of it.
Given the frustration he has caused the Mavericks and certainly their owner, how is it that we were seeing Mark Cuban exercise restraint? And he did so even on the departure, as both said they mutually decided to part ways.
If you look at Mark Cuban's history, the one thing he has always done, and I think will always do, is protect the player. We were talking about this just kind of generally, not specifically about Lamar Odom, but last week actually discussing the situation in Orlando, and he said, you know, I'm not going to talk about the Magic in particular, but the one thing he said he will always do is take bullets for the players instead of firing bullets at them publicly. That's just the way he does business. You know, he wants Dallas to be known as a great place for players to come play. When they have cap space this summer, that's one of the selling points. They treat their players well, and that's one reason that he will show restraint when it comes to players. Now, if he doesn't like something that the media does, he'll certainly fire away, but he doesn't care if we think that he's a nice place to work or not.